What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Wandavision video. The finale is done, and well, yeah, I enjoyed it despite it being kind of underwhelming, but it has hinted at some major things to come in the next few movies and TV shows featuring Wanda and co. But what does it set up? Well, one of the major pieces is a little Easter egg within the Darkhold, as it's revealed that Wanda's true nature is to destroy the world, but on the opposite page it shows something really curious as we see a load of circles with hexagons around them, which hints at, well, circles. But it could be that Wanda doesn't destroy the Earth as we know it, I mean explode the Earth, but actually rips open the realities of the multiverse. Now in 2015 we got Secret Wars, the culmination of the multiverse life collapse called Incursions, where we had Earths collide with each other and the multiverse was destroyed as we know it until Doctor Doom managed to help fix it, but he made his own twisted little world. However, Reed Richards managed to fight back, save his family, and with Molecule Man make a new Earth, and thus went on to fix the multiverse with his family. A really good book, and I highly recommend checking that out. In the end, we had a combination of these worlds with the Ultimate Universe characters like Miles Morales living in a new Earth with Spider-Man Peter Parker. So with this in mind, the page looks much like the idea of the 9 realms that the Asgardians watch over and rule. It could show that she is indeed destined to break down the barriers between realities. While I don't think that based on the Evan Peters Ralph Boner rug pull joke, we will be getting a traditional multiverse much like that in Crisis on Infinite Earths in the CW Arrowverse crossover, but different realities, much like we saw in Doctor Strange when we saw the weird and wonderful multiverse. Now, considering that the Darkhold was created by Chthon, a demon, then it would be his plan all along to create something with chaos magic to bring down these barriers, allowing for his kind to take over places like Earth. I mean, Dormammu wanted to take over Earth and all realities, so other demons would naturally want to take it over too, and breaking down these barriers between the worlds is a good start for people like Chthon, Nightmare and Mephisto to take over, and naturally this would lead to other characters coming into the multiverse and might explain the rumours of Sony's Spider-Man movie characters alike Doc Ock, Electro and the other 2 Spider-Men coming to Spider-Man 3, although that does seem up in the air at the moment, and they might still just be people and just have the faces of these characters we know and love, but won't actually be them. Now in the post-credit scene we see Wanda becoming the opposite to Doctor Strange and using her powers seemingly for her own gain, and I mean opposite as Strange does all he can to protect Earth, but it seems evident that she is learning and discovering her powers to somehow bring her family back. She's floating and reading the Darkhold in the astral plane, just like Doctor Strange was doing in his movie, and it's here, and she hears her kids call out to her, which is curious. Now, the interesting thing is that these kids aren't what we thought they were. The odd thing is that we saw her create Westview Vision and she explained to Vision just what he is, but we never actually saw her create these kids, and she said, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mum," which is a weird turn of phrase, and we know that the kids seemingly came out of nowhere and were just, inside her. It's one thing that was never really explained. She actively created Vision, but she never actively created these kids. Of course, in the comics, the kids were made as part of Mephisto's fragmented soul and were then destroyed until reincarnated. So this would be where they're heading next, as Wanda heads out into the multiverse to look for her kids. But what are they? I presume they were lost souls from the multiverse that found her, and they could indeed be made from a demon, but at the moment, the idea that Mephisto was behind all of this doesn't look that likely, unfortunately. I would expect that this searching would be unlocking or releasing someone or something within the multiverse, and considering she was possessed and worked as an agent of Chthon and her brother did as well in the comics, then this may be what happens here. I don't want a possession arc of Wanda, I want her to be her own character. but I can see that all of her meddling is going to lead to something being released, and I would like to see her seek the help of the Sorcerer Supreme himself. It's clear that she is learning all she can from the Darkhold, and her doing all of this would indeed lead to that there Multiverse of Madness. This would also explain why Darcy is in the Multiverse of Madness too, as she has studied the energy so much and she knows exactly what this hex energy is, and maybe she is working for Sword, and well, we're going to see her have a glow up, hopefully, in the future, as I want her to be a main character in a movie at some point. But it's not just Wanda who has a future in the MCU, but Monica Rambeau has a future, as we saw her in the post-credit scene where a Skrull came to her and said that a friend of her mother is interested in her, and that is obviously Nick Fury, as well, she has powers and will be crucial to the defense of Earth. Of course, this takes place a few weeks after Endgame, so right down the line in Far From Home, when we see that base that Fury is on, then that is probably where Monica is, and she is out there doing what she can, and we may see a merge of Alpha Flight and Sword together. It's interesting as she's going to be crucial to the defense of Earth, and considering that Nick Fury set up the Avengers Initiative to protect Earth from what he saw in Captain Marvel, well, he's going to be setting up a space station to protect the Earth after the chaos of Infinity War, and this would then set up Captain Marvel 2 and Secret Invasion, and that's going to be a big thing moving forward. And of course, we did have Monica Rambeau be involved with the Ultimates. Yes, there was not an Ultimate Universe, but I'm talking about the Ultimates that were created after Secret Wars, where we saw major characters like Blue Marvel as well be involved and go on a cosmic hunt, and even found people who wanted to take cosmic entities. So yes, I can't see that happening within the MCU, as they seem to absolutely adore playing it safe, as we unfortunately saw at the end of Wandavision, but I'm hoping that they go a bit further. Of course, the original director of Doctor Strange 2 was let go because, well, his ideas are a bit too lofty, I imagine, for the MCU, and we saw Sam Raimi return here, the master of, well, all things Spider-Man, if everyone else is to be believed, and I do love those movies. But it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this, and I'm hoping they do move towards a huge multiverse world. But that is it for this video. Please do drop a like down below. Please do subscribe with notifications on. I will have some more supplementary videos soon, but just to let you know what's coming, tomorrow we will be having American Gods. Monday I'll be covering Pacific Rim Black. Tuesday is Snowpiercer. Wednesday is possibly something, maybe a day off. Thursday I'm hoping to get some form of the new Tom Holland movie up. And Friday I'll probably have Raya, but I'm probably going to take a week off at some point after this run of MCU content, and then bring you back for Falcon and the Winter Soldier when that returns, along with, yes, the Snyder Cut, and many other things like Godzilla vs. Kong. So hit that subscribe button to never miss anything, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.